you're not gonna get pregnant naturally.
I've seen miracles happen, but it's impossible.
Not really knowing that's the worst thing, I think.
She wasn't great. Her heart was failing. Give birth to her, lose her. Hello, this is Tristan Hall, the love of my life, my best friend, and up until recently, not the father of my child. And that is what this video is all about. It's currently summer 2020 and we got told about 7 or 8 months ago that we were not going to be able to have children naturally for a accumulation of reasons.
Not just yours either.
No! You're problematic too. That made me feel a lot better about the situation because until then I really was the bearer of bad news. But now we both are and we can share the burden. Ah, that's why it's love, that's why it's meant to be, because he's broken as well. So we'll start with my little thing and what happened with me. Back in October 2019, sometime around there, I took a test, a blood test, and it was an AMH test. And your AMH is the level of chemical that will be in your blood dependent on how many eggs you have stored. A healthy person, I'm 26, Tristan's 22, we know there's an age gap, don't make the jokes, ha ha ha. But mine was real low. So a normal person, a normal woman is supposed to have an AMH of about 35, let's say, 37, 34, somewhere in the 30s. Mine was 4.7, which is not the best news. It's not a reflection on the quality of my eggs, they could still be banging.
You got banging eggs.
I got banging eggs.
Didn't attract me most to her when I first met her.
You can smell them, can't you?
I was like, ooh, she's got banging eggs.
Yeah. But it is a reflection on the amount of them. And the only way to tell whether that number is depleting is to have another test in a year's time, which we couldn't really wait to do. My doctor said, well, essentially, Miranda, you could always have had the amount of 4.7, in which case you're fine and you're at no disadvantage from Miranda 5 years ago. What we don't know is whether my AMH started at a beautiful 32 and over the last year has gone down to 4.7, which, you know, I'm not good at maths, but anyone can work out that that is not good. Fast forward to December 2019. I have a laparoscopy for endometriosis and for a cyst that is on my ovary, and whilst in my stomach, my doctor discovers that my fallopian tubes are pretty battered, and the things inside, again, another technical term that we didn't research, the stuff that carries.
These things.
Carries.
These things.
Oh, he's putting a thing in. Sorry, I thought.
No, stop miming.
They were like flattened.
Imagine trampled grass.
That's a really good description. Yeah, imagine trampled grass.
Like crop circles, how they're made.
Yeah.
Trampled grass.
Yeah, you're good at this. You should
am.
speak more in this video. That was what was inside my fallopian tube. So the poor doctor was like, I'm sorry, Miranda, but it's not looking good. Then I said, meet my boyfriend and life partner, Tristan Hall.
I went and did a test, and this test involved me going into a little room, sitting down on a waterproof sofa?
Leather?
I don't want to talk about it. And producing a sample. I'll leave the rest up to you to think about. And
this was the most soulless room ever.
In this room, I produced my sample.
Not very inspiring.
And they then looked at it and assessed the quality of my sperm. Fast forward, what, 3 hours? Miranda comes back from surgery and I was given my results. The average man looks at having about 10 to 15% of sperm in the right shape, which is good. Like, that's kind of what you'd expect, which seems kind of ridiculous because of these millions of things you've got, if that many of them are so deformed, it wouldn't work. But apparently it does. I unfortunately have 4%. 3%?
3% in the right shape.
That's a problem. And coupled with Miranda's issues,
The gammy tubes and the low egg count,
our consultant basically said,
you're not going to get pregnant naturally. I have seen miracles happen, but scientifically no, you're not going to get pregnant. Which, you know, it's not news that you want to hear, especially when you're quite young and hoping to have children at some point in the future. So our option then was IVF. And so began the journey of IVF.
or ICSI.
Or ICSI. So these can be split up into two things. IVF is when you take the sperm and you take an egg and you put it in like a cocktail mixer and you go like this and you go like this. ICSI,
egg, sperm,
and you inject. And you'd be like, would everyone just do ICSI? Because obviously then the sperm is going to manage to penetrate the egg. But the difference is that when you put that needle into the egg, there is a chance that you could damage the egg. And so IVF, slightly more natural, a little bit more organic, I don't know. ICSI, slightly...
I like my children organic.
and hand-reared. ICSI was kind of our option. It's what our doctor said here. It's like, look, not only are you going to struggle to conceive naturally, but you're going to struggle with IVF. So ICSI is probably the way forward that we're going to go. Good morning, it is 10th of March. Please excuse the shaky hand, but we are on a very bumpy road at Birmingham City Council. You need to look at this. So we are on our way to our ICSI/IVF chat. I'm really excited. I'm not too nervous. Tris, you're a little bit nervous. It's like being on a roller coaster. I brought carrot cake, which apparently is a stupid thing to have done, but I think we're going to want it.
A lot of frosting in there.
There is a lot of frosting in there. It's going to be very difficult to get it off the foil. But if you think about it, if we're in here for 2 hours, you're going to want a snack. You will be grateful for this.
It's a slab of carrot cake. It's a lovely carrot cake, though.
It's a doorstop. You've parked so far away.
I didn't park there.
Who did?
I did park there.
Yeah.
That's today.
Hey! Will we see it? No, we won't.
Will we see it? It's not solar eclipse. Someone's sprightly today.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. Like, I just see this as a new adventure to go on. I know that's really corny. I thought we're going on a journey. I do need a wee. It's also that.
Who shall I make it out to?
Miranda Burns. I've been a fan for a long time.
Blood test done. Miranda's having hers done now. And then we're off.
The first step on our journey, on our adventure.
Before, it was very much kind of, we come into it and, you know, it's like in some point next year or like some point in April, and now it's like, okay, so that's the first appointment done.
It's real, it's happening.
And so, you know, first day of your period will be the 3rd of April, so egg extraction is probably going to be the 15th, and we were like,
that's crazy.
Right, fine. So like just over a month's time.
We had to sign so many forms.
God.
So many.
And so many forms about death as well.
Yeah, well, there's loads of things that you have to take into consideration. So God forbid, touch some wood. But if something happens to me or Tris, the embryos still exist afterwards, so it's whose property they are. And we'll explain it more, but essentially, I get first dibs. We're gonna get run over.
Divide and conquer.
That was a close call. We nearly died just then.
Again. Yeah. Then there'd be no embryos or sperm or eggs or anything.
Or anything.
Just be a load of paperwork that's been signed for no reason. What a waste of life.
But Jane, the embryologist, would have our signature. I would have met 2 lovely individuals.
Poor Jane.
Ah!
Sorry, got to break again. Very stressed.
Very stressed.
The exit.
Very stressed. Very stressed. Now we've got to rush back to Winchester so I can do my radio show in under 4 hours' time. And we need to pick up the cherub.
We do. He's the most important piece of cargo we have for the trip.
He's our child.
Well,
the rabbit is the child. The rabbit is a test run, the dummy run, the guinea pig. The guinea pig!
Pandemic of coronavirus
all over the world.
A stark warning to Britain.
Persistent new cough.
And pregnancy are not a good combination in general. You must stay at home.
As you know, the current situation is a little bit weird.
Yes.
We are in lockdown. IVF, all fertility treatment across the world, I think it was, or at least just the country, was stopped. And naturally we were gutted.
Yeah, I mean, I think the little like silver lining to the cloud is that we weren't in the middle of an IVF like cycle process. There were some poor couples, some poor women who will have been taking hormones and injecting themselves and been doing that for 5 or 6 days, traveling up and down the country, like having their tests done, having their scans, all these injections and whatnot, and then suddenly have to halt it halfway through. And there will have been a whole load of eggs that may have not had the opportunity to be harvested, and like that is just the most devastating thing.
We were then kind of put on hold and left being told
at some point it will start up again. We're really sorry. I mean, the hospital that we were going through the process with was so lovely, and they would check in with us, and every week we'd get a little ring and they'd be like, we're so sorry, we're still closed, but we're thinking of you, are you okay? And we were like, yeah. but we're still gonna have a child, but it's fine. And so we were living in lockdown and minding our own business. And I want to remind you that we have been told that scientifically it is
impossible was the word he used.
For us to have a baby naturally.
Like, it wasn't like it'll be hard, it might take a few months. It's impossible. I've seen miracles happen, but it's impossible.
It was a don't use contraception because you are your own contraception.
Shall I have the coil put back in?
No,
Don't worry.
don't bother. And then I skipped a period.
One night a couple of weeks ago, we just thought Miranda was due on her period, 2 days before? And you've missed it.
Yeah,
and you had a little bit of cramping, so we thought, let's do a test. We have a couple lying around just because we were told, because of the risk of ectopic, if we think Miranda's pregnant, do a test.
Interject! Ectopic pregnancy, when the fertilised egg settles in the fallopian tube and is essentially in the place where it's not supposed to be. Not a healthy pregnancy. Essentially, as it will grow, will stretch the fallopian tube until that tube bursts and you could die. And that was quite a thing that was like hammered on home to us, that we were going to have to be super cautious of an ectopic pregnancy, because although he said you're not going to get pregnant, what he also said was if you do get pregnant, it will be ectopic. It will be trapped in your tube and you'll need to have surgery to have it removed or medication. So we had some pregnancy tests lying around and we did one.
And I was sat there and looking at it, and Miranda was kind of, just twiddling her thumbs maybe.
Sat in the toilet.
I was looking at it and I said, do you see a second pink line? And you're like, what? And we thought, okay, must be a faulty test.
Let's do a second test. So I weed on
and then we did.
I weed on another stick. And that was positive. And then we started to freak out.
And we lost our...
Well, the tests must be broken. So in the middle of lockdown, we took an essential journey.
At 11:45, so just before the shops closed, even like the 24-hour ones.
It was in the middle of the night, and we drove to 3 different petrol stations in and around Winchester to find a new brand of pregnancy tests, which we found and then bought 2 of course. Took them home, weed on them again. Positive. Lady with a baby.
So naturally the next day we were excited but kind of concerned, I guess, because of the risk of ectopic. Normally, I guess when people get pregnant or find out they're pregnant, they are excited and stuff because it's like, this is a new journey for us, but we didn't get the chance to have that because of the risk of ectopic. So the first thing we did was contact Miranda's consultant to arrange a scan.
To which he was like, well, I guess congrats. But yeah, you need to come in for a scan. Cue scan day. So this is like the weirdest day of our lives, I think.
Just a bit.
We're on our way to the hospital to have a scan. Well, I am. Because of coronavirus, Tristan isn't allowed in, so I'm going solo. I know, you're gonna have to sit and wait the whole time.
Dogs die in hot cars.
I don't really know how I feel. I don't feel particularly nervous. I don't feel particularly excited. I think I just feel a little bit numb because when we did the test, it's like being told that you might be pregnant and not that you're actually pregnant. And the scan is the pregnancy test because that's going to confirm whether it's actually going ahead or not.
It's not in black and white like it's happy or sad. It's just A or B, isn't it? That's really...
Whoa!
That's a really confusing...
Hey, pregnant lady with a baby! Oh, we're so close to the hospital, aren't we?
I'm not nervous.
Do you know what's the really weird thing? When I next get back in this car, I'll know whether in 8 months' time I'll be having a baby.
Oh, God.
I feel like I should have dressed up more. One of the things that has been so weird is that I felt like I've been living a lie because everyone I've spoken to who's been like, oh, how are you? How's your week been? I've had to say, oh yeah, fine, uneventful, hashtag lockdown life. When actually, we've had the biggest news I think either of us have ever received. We're here at the hospital. We are 30 minutes early, which means we just have to sit and sweat and stress in a car.
Didn't drive faster, did I?
No, you didn't.
Drove quite well.
Drove very respectable. Well done.
You.
Everyone's lane hopping.
Everyone's forgotten how to drive properly.
Everyone's driving dangerously.
People.
Should we bring a child into this world?
Maybe not.
Oh no. We might not have a choice.
Alas, I doubt we don't have a choice.
No, we don't have a choice. We have no choice. How do you feel?
I'm alright. It's one of those things that you just kind of can't think about too much until you know a little bit more. because you know you might be pregnant, but the pregnancy test means nothing because it doesn't show you that you're actually able to have the baby. So in a way it's exciting to have a positive pregnancy test, but at the same time it's not a thing.
No, it's not a thing, and you can't let yourself get excited or worried either way because it doesn't mean anything yet. So yeah, like I was saying, it's just this weird stage of limbo that we've been living in where you can neither feel like an anticipation of, oh my god, we're going to have a child, or oh my god, we've got to have surgery again. Like, you can't think either way because you don't know. One of the things which is a little bit of a tragedy is that we ordered from Tesco Click and Collect a budget Tesco version of Baileys, right? And it was like £4 or £5, and we were like, let's just get the cheap one rather than spend a fortune on Baileys. Well, when we went to get our Click and Collect, they didn't have the Baileys in stock. So instead, they substituted us the most bougie and extravagant Baileys equivalent, like more high-end than Baileys, a fancy liqueur instead, which now I can't drink because I'm pregnant.
I'm not allowed to have it because you're not allowed to have it.
And that would irritate me, and no one needs a domestic. So actually,
we're just stuck in this limbo stage.
I can't drink my rip-off Baileys.
Miranda has gone in for her scan. We're just texting her saying it's weird not being in there with her because everything we've done so far, we've been together and kind of been side by side with it all. And this is the first time ever that we've had to be separate on things. Even when she had her surgery in December, I stayed with her the night after, and even when I was going to work, I was still up in the night with her and making sure she was okay. So it's weird, but you know, what will happen will happen. And I think she's having a scan right now. He must have just arrived. So yeah, weird. Not nervous as such, but just kind of a weird sort of emotion of not really knowing what's going on, and that's the worst thing, I think. I'm guessing the next thing you'll see is Miranda coming back to the car. So yeah.
It's in the right place. I know. It's a miracle. I know. It's in the right... I got this. I know. Now, we have to have another scan in 2 weeks because he says there's no heartbeat yet because there isn't, because I'm 5.5 weeks in. But he said it looks very healthy and it's in the right place. I know. I freaked out too. I think I saw. He was like, it's a miracle. He's like, it's a miracle. I know. I'm like this.
Yes, I've been thinking the whole time.
I know. How crazy. How crazy.
We have this. This tiny little thing there is a baby.
It's our baba, and it's about the size of a poppy seed. Or...
It's between the size of a poppy seed and a blueberry.
Which are very different size things.
That's like...
I know.
So different. What's between those? An apple seed?
I think it's probably going to be the size of my little fingernail.
Which is actually the same size as mine because I've got really small
hands.
hands.
Yeah, look at this. It's so weird, right? Look how small... Like, I'm very petite. Like...
So am I.
Our child will have very small hands as well.
But a huge heart.
I thought you were going to say something else.
That too.
Of course, we don't know, like we said, whether it's going to be a viable pregnancy. Most people don't have a scan this early on. The only reason I did is because there was such a high risk of it being ectopic. They had to catch it before my tube burst. Obviously, it wasn't ectopic, which was a surprise for everyone, not least my doctor. In theory, it should be fine, but we've got to wait another 2 weeks and have another scan to see if there's a fetal heartbeat. And if there's a heartbeat, well, then we're having a baby in January.
You'll be seeing this far, far down the line from where we are right now.
I might even have a bump.
You will. So stand up right now, stand up, come on. This is the current state of things.
Nothing really.
I want to cut to a shot of you with a bump. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I don't know about you, but I'm really proud of my swimmers.
What is the award that you have at school where you tried really hard? So it's like you get the academic and then you get the Endeavour Award.
That's an award?
Yeah, that's what we got at my school.
God, you went to a posh school.
No, I didn't. Oh my god, no, I didn't.
Sackville, I won the Touchy Feely Award in year 13, which says a lot about me.
It hasn't changed much.
The only thing in this world that I want is for this baby to be healthy and this heartbeat to be okay.
Oh, I know.
Because that is like it now for me. Like that's all I want is this little thing to grow and be healthy. But the next thing you're going to see is in 2 weeks' time when we go to the scan.
Yeah.
Wish us luck and I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
High five.
High five. Yeah. I love you. You mean everything. I always wish I was called Eileen, so I could have this song sung about me. Okay, let's give you a little bit of context. Time is 6:43. We woke up at 5:20. That is why the light is a little bit appalling because the sun is rising. We're on our way to our appointment. To basically see if we have a viable pregnancy. Past couple of weeks have been interesting. I've had quite a lot of symptoms. Some of them like quite horrible. Like my boobs really hurt, like really hurt. And
So gargantuan.
yeah, they're huge. Sorry, again, the light is super early. I can only apologise. Yeah, they're massive and they're painful. Also, I'm getting really bad headaches, like awful headaches, and I'm trying to avoid taking paracetamol, which doesn't help. So that's not fun. And the latest tragedy, well, it's not a tragedy, but the latest compromise in all of this is that I'm not allowed to take antihistamines of any sort, whether they be nasal, eye drops, tablets, nothing. And my hay fever is so rife. And I think other than that, we're okay. Still very, very stressful. Like not knowing exactly what's going on and just having to wait and see. Again, Tris is not going to be able to come into the appointment, which sucks. Like, of all the appointments, I feel like this is the one that I want you in there for so many reasons. Whether it's good news or bad news, I want you in here. I'm going in. I just had the call to say that I'm all right to go in, obviously, because they can't have too many people in at any one time. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Oh my god. I wish you were coming too.
Off she goes. Bye. As you saw there, Miranda is now off into the hospital. I'm just going to wait in the car. Hopefully she'll be out very soon and we have good news. Gal, nurse. And she's gone. Miranda's going to try and video some of the scan, not necessarily the bit where he kind of is scanning her, but I think the screen that's being used to kind of look at the embryo. Is it embryo or is it fetus? What? I don't know these things. I should know these things, but I don't know these things. There she is, she's over there. Here she comes. She's over there. Where is she? There she is. She's got what looks like a bit of paper in her hand, which is going to be a scan, which should be good news. And she looks like she's kind of happy. She's running. Okay, this is a good sign. This is good, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good.
Yeah, woo! It's the most adorable thing. I filmed it though. I'm so sorry you can't see it. Look. Look.
So this is the uterus, this is the sac, this is the baby. There, let me show you the fetal heart.
Oh my god, I can see it.
There's the flickering.
Oh, it's so small. He's gonna cry. He said, "This is a miracle of modern science. You are a miracle." I was like, "You should do talks on me." I'm shaking.
You are a miracle.
Miracle. It has a heartbeat. It was like kind of like. Boop, 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 boop. My heart is going so fast. I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my god!" And the nurse was really cute. So she was like, "Congratulations." Oh my god. I wish she'd been in there. I wish you'd seen it. It was so cute. It was tiny and it was going like boom, 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 boom. Just like chilling. Boom, 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 boom. So I think that this wasn't like the ending of the video that we wanted. Obviously it's a stupid thing to say, but also we recorded a whole other ending at, what was it, 16 weeks?
Yeah, so the day that we found out everything was happening was the day we were supposed to be posting this video. And a couple of days before we'd filmed a video with you with a bump.
It was like our wrap up. It was like the look how far we've come, like we're out of the woods, here's little Baba growing in my tummy, and we were really excited about everything that was to come. And then 2 days after that we found out that she wasn't growing, that the amniotic fluid being low was a warning sign of other even more serious problems. And 2 days after that we found out that her heart was failing, and that we basically had no choice but to be induced and give birth to her and therefore lose her. So yeah, that's sort of where we're at. It's 2 weeks now since that happened. It's been very hard, it's been very difficult. We had to take each of us a lot of time off work just to process it. I'd arguably say that I went back to work sooner than I would have wanted to. But I suppose this is just one of those things that you're never going to get over and you're always going to carry it. So work at least has been some kind of like distraction. Hopefully not the end of the story. Hopefully she's going to have a little brother or sister at some point in the future. And I guess we just sort of should finish by saying her name.
Yeah.
Because we decided to name her.
Yeah, so we thought a lot about names, obviously. Coming towards having a baby is what you do. And a name that we thought about for a long time was Amberley, which is a name that's quite special to us because it's the place that we went on one of our first dates together, Amberley Castle. And it's always been in our minds as a name. As we went through pregnancy, we thought maybe not because, you know, we had other names come up and we were kind of thinking of other things, and we felt that with everything that's happened, it's the right thing to do to give her that name. So Amberley Ann Hall.
She's not going to be forgotten. We're making quite an effort to keep her memory alive because I don't think many people realise she was born like fully formed. Like she looked like a little baby. She wasn't just a collection of cells. She was our daughter, and she was like sort of like this big. So we are talking about her. We're posting photos. And she's not going to get forgotten, and hopefully when we get pregnant in the future her brother or sister will know who she is, and she's always going to be like our little miracle. Like you know, when you're having a really dark day you say like, oh, why me, why did I have to go through that, I'd rather it never have happened. But when you're having a slightly calmer day you realise that the reason why Amberley was born was to prove to us that, like, you know, like miracles can happen, and she is our miracle baby. And you know, she was a stubborn fighter because she kept going for a very long time, and like for that reason alone, like we'll always love her, and she's so special because she proved everyone wrong. She wasn't supposed to be able to come, and she did. She was created. So yeah, on happier days I'm like so grateful. Darker days still come, but she is the like beacon of hope that we needed to carry us through what has been a bit of a rough ride. Yeah.